For more than a century, one ancient tomb has captured the world's imagination like almost no other archaeological discovery in history. It's hidden for more than 3,000 years beneath the sands of Egypt. It contained golden treasures, priceless artifacts, royal jewelry, ancient weapons, and the remarkably preserved body of the young pharaoh Tutankhamun. Soon after its discovery, however, a terrifying legend spread across the world, claiming that anyone who disturbed the king's eternal resting place would soon face a mysterious and unavoidable death. The story began in November 1922, when British archaeologist Howard Carter continued searching Egypt's Valley of the Kings. Despite many experts believing every important royal tomb had already been found, his persistence paid off when workers uncovered a buried stone staircase leading to a sealed doorway bearing the royal seals of King Tutankhamun, one of the greatest archaeological discoveries ever made. Looking through a small opening into the chamber, Carter famously described seeing wonderful things, as thousands of untouched treasures filled rooms that had remained hidden for over 3 millennia. Because most Egyptian royal tombs had been robbed centuries earlier, Tutankhamun's remarkably intact burial chamber immediately became an international sensation that fascinated both scientists and the public alike. Shortly afterward, newspapers began publishing stories about a mysterious curse supposedly warning that death would come swiftly to anyone disturbing the pharaoh's eternal rest, creating headlines that spread across the globe. The only problem was that no such curse was ever found written on the entrance to Tutankhamun's tomb, making the famous warning far more legendary than historical. The legend gained even greater momentum in April 1923, when George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon and the expedition's financial supporter, died after a mosquito bite became infected and developed into fatal blood poisoning. Newspapers immediately linked his death to the supposed curse, presenting it as supernatural revenge carried out by the ancient pharaoh and turning the story into one of the biggest media sensations of its time. As the years passed, almost every death connected, even loosely, to the excavation was added to an ever-growing list of supposed victims regardless of how distant their actual involvement had been. When historians later examined the records more carefully, they discovered a very different reality from the frightening stories dominating newspapers and popular culture around the world. Howard Carter himself continued working for nearly 17 years after opening the tomb before, dying of natural causes in 1939 at the age of 64, while many archaeologists, photographers, scientists, and workers involved in the excavation lived for decades afterward. These facts significantly weakened the claim that an immediate supernatural curse had truly affected everyone connected to the discovery. Some researchers proposed natural explanations instead, suggesting that ancient sealed tombs may contain mold spores, fungi, bacteria, or poor air quality capable of creating health risks under specific circumstances after remaining closed for thousands of years. Although scientists acknowledge that certain microorganisms inside ancient environments could potentially affect human health, no convincing evidence has ever demonstrated that they caused the pattern of deaths commonly associated with the famous mummy's curse. The scientific evidence simply does not support the dramatic claims that became popular through newspapers and sensational storytelling. Another major reason the curse became world famous was the growing competition among newspapers. Magazines and publishers, eager to attract readers through dramatic headlines and mysterious coincidences surrounding the excavation. Different books, documentaries, and authors expanded the legend over time, with some claiming only a handful of victims, while others listed more than 20, despite many having only indirect or distant connections to the discovery. As the story evolved, separating historical fact from sensational fiction became increasingly difficult for audiences fascinated by ancient Egypt. Hollywood transformed the legend forever by creating unforgettable films featuring resurrected mummies, cursed tombs, ancient priests seeking revenge, and supernatural forces protecting forgotten treasures buried beneath the desert sands. These fictional stories became so popular that millions of people gradually began confusing cinematic entertainment with genuine archaeological history, strengthening the myth far beyond anything supported by historical evidence. Even today, the image of the cursed mummy remains one of the most recognizable legends in popular culture. Professional Egyptologists generally view the mummy's curse as a fascinating cultural legend rather than a documented historical reality. But that does not diminish the extraordinary importance of Tutankhamun's discovery in any way. The tomb revolutionized archaeology by preserving thousands of priceless artifacts, revealing remarkable details about ancient Egyptian civilization, and providing an unprecedented glimpse into royal life more than 3,000 years ago. Few archaeological discoveries have transformed our understanding of history as dramatically as the opening of King Tutankhamen's burial chamber. Perhaps the greatest mystery was never whether a supernatural curse truly existed, but why the legend itself became even more famous than the astonishing discovery that inspired it in the first place. Ancient Egypt continues to inspire wonder, curiosity, imagination, and endless fascination, because some civilizations leave behind stories that become just as powerful as the artifacts themselves. The truth is that the legend of the mummy's curse refuses to die, not because it has ever been proven, but because some mysteries become immortal through the stories humanity continues to tell.